Igatho ni mwihoko wakwa ati ni watindia thayo ngugeithie na ngunyite ogeni mutamburuko-ini wa Mohoro Thaa TV ari Thaa Imwe mutheri tariki 25 mweri wa 3 mwaka-ini wa 2025 ngetika Waithira wa Githure no araniri nani kuria mwena wa Facebook ndumiriri page-ini ya Waithira wa Githure kana nenda-ini citu ciothe cia ukinyaniria cia Mugi TV no mbere ndaya reke twambe twamukire mate mamwe ma maria tukuhaririirie mohoro-ini ma Mugi TV hwaini. Mutongoria wa bururi kuria muingi wa gitaru kia Afrika metikire kunyitanira.
Situation in Eastern DRC is not getting better, it is getting worse, and therefore it is a source of concern, not just for DRC as a country, but all of us in the East African community and SADC, because it has the potential to spill over into our countries with the attendant serious consequences of displacement of people, loss of life, and the challenges of instability that it will come with it. And therefore, I want to thank all the heads of state who have demonstrated their commitment by attending this virtual meeting. It is a confirmation that we are all concerned, rightfully.
Gavana wa Kisumu Anyang' Nyong'o kurutira aria mejaga mahiga mukana.
Note that sand, maram, ballast and building stones are to be licensed by the county government. Polluters and degraders of the environment in Kisumu County will pay heavy fines. They will also be forced to restore the areas damaged.
Na beũ njĩthĩ kũrũrũngana nĩ kwaga ũkuruhanio harĩ gwetha mũikarĩri gĩtĩ wa kamĩtĩ ya IEBC.
We need the selection panel to select our young youths. The youths are very supposed to be occupying these spaces.
Sisi tumegadhabishwa.
Ngatho macio na mangĩ maingĩ nĩmo tũkũharĩrĩirie mũtamburuko-inĩ ũyũ wa mohoro ma Mugi TV Thaa Imwe. Gũcokeria ngatho wonyitanĩre na ithuĩ tukĩmũrĩka riboti ya mbere nĩ atĩ mũtongoria wa bũrũri ndagĩtarĩ William Ruto nĩorĩtie mabũrũri ma gĩtarũ kĩa Afrika manyitanĩre nĩguo kũhota kũhũrana na mathĩna marĩa magũmagĩra mabũrũri maya. Ũũ nĩ thutha wa gũkua ũgitĩri ũrĩa ũgũmĩire bũrũri wa Congo, ũndũ ũrĩa ũcũngĩrĩirie makiri ma andũ mathame kwao. Arĩtie ũũ hĩndĩ ya kĩgomano kĩa summit kĩrĩa gĩkũrongoreirio gũcaria kĩhonia kĩa bũrũri ũyũ wa Congo.
The situation in Eastern DRC is not getting better, it is getting worse, and therefore it is a source of concern, not just for DRC as a country, but all of us in the East African community and SADC, because it has the potential to spill over into our countries with the attendant serious consequences of displacement of people, loss of life, and the challenges of instability that it will come with it. And therefore, I want to thank all the heads of state who have demonstrated their commitment by attending this virtual meeting. It is a confirmation that we are all concerned, rightfully, about the situation in our neighborhood, and all of us are taking steps to see to it that we do everything that we can to resolve the issue in Eastern DRC to the best of our ability. Allow me, Excellencies, also to commend and congratulate our two brothers, President Felix Tshisekedi and President Kagame, for a face-to-face engagement that they have had in the last few days. Again, a clear demonstration on their part that they are equally committed to seeing to it that we resolve the matters in Eastern DRC and also that affect our countries and our region. Number three, let me commend our defense chiefs who have had several meetings in preparation for the summit, and also our ministers of defense and ministers of foreign affairs for the preparations they have undertaken to facilitate us having this meeting. The primary objective of which will be to discuss the report of our ministers of foreign affairs and defense that was informed to a great extent by the meetings of the defense chiefs. I think this evening is a very important meeting, and there are expectations from the people of DRC, from the people of our region, on the outcome of this meeting. And I want to encourage all of us to do whatever it is that we can to provide leadership in the matters that concern us and the matters that are on the agenda this evening. Thank you very much.
Tukimurika riboti ĩngĩ nĩ atĩ nyabara wa ndundu ya maminista Musalia Mudavadi augĩte ũhagũku wa ũgitĩri nĩ ũgũmĩire gĩtarũ kĩa Afrika na njĩra nene. Akĩmenereria ũhagũku wa ũgitĩri, augĩte mahinda marĩa atongoria mahũthagĩra gũtuithania kana kũgacĩrithia na gwetha kĩhonia kĩa ũhagũku wa ũgitĩri bũrũri-inĩ ũcokaga na thutha. Akiuga mathaa mau atongoria mahũthagĩra no mahũthĩre gwĩka ũndũ. Akĩaria harĩ mũcemanio-inĩ ũrĩa ũkũrehete hamwe anyiti itemi kuma bũrũri-inĩ ngũrani, Mudavadi nĩ orĩtie atongoria macarie kĩhonia na ihenya o ũrĩa kwahotekeka.
It is my distinct honor to welcome you to Kenya as we gather for the Open Government Partnership Africa and Middle East Regional Ministerial Meeting. This is indeed a historic occasion, considering that it is the second time that Kenya is hosting the Open Government Partnership Meeting. Kenya is proud to have hosted the first Africa meeting in May 2013, soon after the launch of the Open Government Partnership in September 2011. Allow me to extend a warm welcome from His Excellency President William Ruto, the government and the people of Kenya, to our esteemed ministers responsible for open government, honorable ambassadors, civil society representatives, and distinguished delegates who have graced this gathering. I also appreciate our development partners, fellow steering committee members, and representatives from the Open Government Partnership Secretariat. Your presence here highlights the significance of collaboration in promoting the principles of open government. Conflict is consuming us. How do you explain heads of state on two important regional blocs, the East African Community and SADC, sitting until midnight, not to plan budgets, not to plan how to enhance free trade in the two economic regional blocs, not to plan how the Africa continental free trade will move, but sitting until midnight to try and resolve conflict. So, as we speak about open government again, we then need to ponder what more can be done within the framework of this conversation, so that we spend time and resources doing the right things, doing the more practical things for the better. And I'm not saying abating conflict is a bad thing. No, it's a good thing. But should we have been there in the first place? That's the question. Should we be putting ourselves, when we look at the Horn of Africa, the challenges, I don't have to, it's in the public domain. We are all seeing the conflict around us. The same holds for even other areas. We know the disruptions of the war in Europe and the war in the Middle East and the impact it's having on our economies. supply chains have been disrupted and so forth. We also know that policies in the international arena are completely being overhauled. In loose terms, I would say that there's an earthquake that has taken place, and the tremors are beginning to go far and wide in all this. But open government will enable us to share experiences. Open government will help us to put more pressure on the leadership in our countries and our societies so that they can hopefully be better as we move forward.
Tukimurika riboti ĩngĩ nĩ atĩ kaunti ya Turukana ndĩnatigwo na thutha harĩ kũheana ũmwe wa arũgamĩrĩri kana hũranĩre gĩtĩ kĩa mũikarĩri gĩtĩ wa IEBC kũrĩa Erastus Edung Ethekon ayumĩrĩtie na gũcokia ciũria iria ekũrĩte. Reke twamũkĩre kana tũmũrĩke ciũria iria oririo kũu arĩ Erastus. Kĩmwe gĩakĩo arĩ Erastus no.
My seniors in New York and in Geneva, working for the Bureau for Crisis Prevention and Recovery, they came to Kenya. They told me, we need you to hit the ground running. We need you to work around the clock, because we feel and we see, according to our conflict analysis and scenario building, Kenya is going to sort of degenerate into some sort of violent conflicts. But I, of course, as a young professional and passionate Kenyan who believes that Kenya is an island of peace in the sea of turmoil around, I didn't believe them. But fast forward, the election came so fast before I could do anything much, setting up the structures and work, identifying even the national institutions to work with. Then, boom. After elections, we saw what happened, post-election violence, there was crisis. So at that point, I did not have so much experience in that field, because I came from the Human Rights Commission, human rights lawyer, all that. So at that moment of crisis, that is when I stepped up my game as a young leader. I had to lead a team of those professionals who are deployed from across the world to come and support Kenya during that moment of crisis, to undertake mediation, to look at how to respond to some of the conflict hotspots. How do we lower the temperatures? What is it that we need to do to handle some of those hotspots? How do we help the country recover in terms of from that election violence? So I was thrust in the middle of all this, and with very little experience. But I managed, out of creativity, innovativeness, and resilience, to actually lead those teams of some of the most experienced people in resolving global conflicts. And I was there to support them, to guide them, to show them what needs to be done. And I thought that was one of the moments that I stepped up and my leadership was recognized.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair. Welcome again. Let's have a conversation about the right to vote. Article 38 of the Constitution provides the right of every citizen to exercise their free will to suffrage, right, to vote. In order to operationalize that provision of the Constitution, Parliament enacted the Elections Act and the Elections Voter Education Regulations of 2017. To what extent does this law, therefore, support the right of citizens to vote, particularly those citizens that are marginalized?
Rĩrĩ bũrũri wetereire kuona nũ gũtuĩka mũikarĩri gĩtĩ wa rũhonge rwa ithurano na waragania rwa IEBC. Francis Kai Kissinger nĩeteteire gũkũ agĩtarĩria gĩtũmi kĩa kĩrĩa ye onete nĩkĩo kĩagĩrĩire atuĩke mũikarĩri gĩtĩ wa commission ĩno ya IEBC.
by the International Labour Organization to go and study the postgraduate diploma in trade law from the University of Turin. Later on, sometimes in 2006, I was awarded another scholarship again to go and study human rights, governance, and aspects of elections at a master's level in the United States of America. In terms of my experience, Chair, and what makes me think I'm qualified for this position, allow me to only focus on the aspects of my CV that is relevant to the position that I've applied for. But I must also mention that I've had an advantage or a privilege of being a lecturer, and I taught at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, and I also taught at the Kenya School of Law. So let me focus now, Chair, on the relevant experience. I first got exposed to election in 1997. As a very young student then, I was just about to complete my university, and the late chairman of the ECK, the defunct ECK, the late Honorable Justice Zacchaeus Chesoni, gave me an opportunity to work in the 1997 general election. At that time, the ECK, the defunct now,
Ripoti ya Kisinja nĩ gũtweka nyaga gũikĩria tukakĩmwendithĩria ũhotani tũracokereria thutha wa kahinda gatarĩ kũraya.
Wĩ hau na nĩ ũrecũrania kũrĩ ũngĩgwatĩra mathomo ma gĩkĩro kĩa igũrũ rĩu wanja yaku ĩgũkũ kwa JN Training Institute ĩrĩa nĩ thukuru ĩrĩa ĩtongoretie harĩ kothi cia ũmemerekia, kothi cia ũkinyanĩria ona nginyagia kothi cia ũini. Aya makoragwo na kothi ta journalism, TV and radio production, information technology, computer maintenance and repair, graphic design, sound engineering and music production. Kothi ici nĩ cia ikĩro cia arts and certificate ona nginyagia cia diploma. Oho mena kothi nini ta music instrument, foreign languages and sign languages. Makorogo mwena wa Nairobi View Park Towers gorofa ya Mugwanja kana Naikuru Heshima Scott Road, na no waranĩria nao kũhĩtũkĩra thimũ namba 0720394177 nĩyo gĩbũgũ mũgwanja igĩrĩ gĩbũgũ ithatũ kenda inya ĩmwe mũgwanja mũgwanja.
Inule dhaduka ukigura paprika dress dugatheni kerege ni amu Track Sound Audio Limited mehaha ni undu waku. Aya ni edia guthi a speakers, mixers, equalizers, microphones, guitars, keyboards, haze machines, linear speakers, park and rides, amplifiers, drum sets na indo ingĩ nyingĩ. Me mũciĩ mũnene wa Nairobi, Luthuri Avenue kana mwena wa Mombasa barabara-inĩ ya Haile Selassie. Nĩ ũndũ wa ũhoro makĩria mahũrĩre thimũ kũgerera 0722-755-207 kana 0799-313131. Track Sound Audio Limited. We make sound better.
The Betty Maviti Roberts Education Center nĩ thukuru wa mũndũ kĩũmbe ũrĩa wambĩrĩirio mwaka wa 2009 mwena wa Ranet, Naikuru. Tuheanaga mathomo gĩkĩro kĩa natharĩ, primary na secondary. Tuheaga arutwo aitũ maumĩrĩra mega ma igeranio ciao hamwe na gũkorwo andũ marĩ na wĩigĩrĩrĩki bũrũri-inĩ. Turathiĩ na mbere na kwandĩkithia arutwo a natharĩ, PP1 na PP2. Gĩkĩro kĩa primary turandĩkithia kuma grade 1 nginya grade 7. Na kĩo gĩkĩro gĩa secondary turandĩkithia kuma form 1, form 2, ona nginya form 3. Ha uhoro makiria no hure thimu kuri namba 0701 098014 kana ucere website ine itu neo www.robertsedu.org. The Betty Maviti Roberts Education Center, pursuing beyond the competencies of your child.
Ehihi wena igongona na ni urenda riagirire na rigie nogemu aranerie na JN Events aria maheanaga motungata ta sound system, hema, stage, DJ, lighting, road show track gatagate ka motungata mage maige kana makinyere kugerera 0702 588 778 niyo gifogo mugwanja gifogo igere ithano inyanya mugwanja inyanya ona kana macerere wa ofisine ciao mucine munene wa Nairobi View Park Towers gorofa ya mugwanja. JN Events, we speak your events. Ugenda kuonjorithia na ithwe no twaririe kugerera 0720 394 177 niyo gifugo mugwanja igere gifugo ithatu kenda inya imwe mugwanja kana tucerere wa ofisine cito mucine munene wa Nairobi View Park Towers gorofa ya mugwanja. Mugi TV, ugabo wa kwihokeka.
Ngatho ni twacokereria riria rikerekari akeri mutaburuko-ini wa Mohoro Mamugi TV Thaa Imwe gagucokeria ngatho gutwaranite na ithwi ikinya gwa ikinya tukimurika riboti ingi ni ati anyiti itemi na mbeu njithi ni marurunganite ni kira maugite ni guthutukanio kwa mbeu njithi hari kwaga gukuruhanio hari kwetha muikariri giti wa kamiti ya ithurano na waragania IEBC na thengia wao kwiyandikithia mari na mwihoko umwe wao ni gutuika muikariri giti wa IEBC makiaria ugite thirikari ni iramahinyiriria kuona ati aige ao kuona thirikari ni ifatie kumeherera na kumahe ite ici kuona nyingi ciacio cirabatarikana gukorwo cikarirwo ni mbeu njithi.
Sisi tumegadhabishwa sana na ile mambo inaendelea kwa hiyo boardroom. Hii mambo ya kuleta wazee mahali nafasi ya vijana imefika, tumesema imeisha. Sisi tunasema Nyachae tafadhali, wakati huu ni wakati wa vijana. Hii mambo ya kuweka wazee wanapelekwa kama report control tumekata.
Sisi kama vijana tumesema Rais, vijana wengi wali-apply kazi ya IBC na tumeona kwa wale vijana ambao wame-apply hakuna kijana wote amekuwa shortlisted. Na tunasema Nyachae lazima aende nyumbani.
Kuna vijana ambao wali-apply for the IBC commissioners. Over 200 young people walipeana submission zao kukuwa commissioners kwa IBC. Lakini selection panel ikiongozwa na Dr. Makanda walifanya mambo yao and they ensured that no young person was shortlisted. And therefore, as a young people of this country, we have converged here today to tell the selection panel that we must have a young person as commissioners. Vijana power!
We need the selection panel to select our young youths. The youths are very competent. They've gone to the university. They're educated enough, and they should be in these spaces. They are the ones who are supposed to be occupying these spaces.
Tukimurika riboti ingĩ ati andu eri aria marutaga wira nyumba-ini cia gwikenia mukawa-ini wa Oceanic ni moritie thirikari itacokirie maabitha a borithi eri. Ikinya ũũ ni thutha wa maabitha aya kuingira mukawa uyu na kuhura muruti wira na mwiritu umwe. Kuringana na mwene kirabu giki augite umwe wao marathima na icoka, nake guku akiuga ni ahurite riboti ya maabitha aya aria marahuthira hinya mukiriku kuri muingi. Gukire uguo Onini wa Commissioner Charles Murithi augite uthuthuria ni wambikitwa gukurana niki kiarire kiria kingi.
Injuries, I have a neck injury where I can't move my neck vizuri, so the muscles are hurt. That is from the swings from the lady and from the man. The legs from the faults, the lips, the spine, the back, because the faults are two different ways. And the head injury. The head injury, in a way, they have had a concussion.
She should attack me directly. I do want the government to take immediate action against the illegal assault for no reason.
Unajua naweza kuslap mpaka nichoke. Kanipiga, wakavuruga customers, wakaleta my issues mingi. Kama hakuna wezi jote walikuwa wanataka juu alikuja wakaulizia manager kuja wakampiga na walikuwa wanataka kubeba drinks zote.
Egatho tukimurika riboti ingĩ ni ati sako ya ngari cia ukui wa muingi ya Super Metro ni itikiritio gucokereria wira ni ruhonge rwa kurora uigiriki barabara-ini rwa NTSA. Ũũ ni thutha wa gukorwo matekuruta wira kwa ihinda ria thikũ 3. Ũhoro ũyũ ũkinyanirio thutha wa sako ino nyitarĩrĩ na NTSA guthomithia matereba na makanga ao maũndũ marĩa mabatiĩ kũrũmĩrĩra nĩguo kũnyihia mĩtino barabara-inĩ. Reke twamũkĩre riboti ĩyo torĩa tũkwarĩrĩirie.
Heshimu abiria. Heshimu abiria. Mũthĩ tuma na gĩthomo kĩnene mũno makĩria gĩa kũririkania matereba maitũ na conductors maũndũ marĩa mathomire na magĩrĩirwo nĩ gũkorwo makĩrũmĩrĩra niguo tugerie kunyihanyihia mitino ya barabara.
Kuwa ni kujaribu kurekebishana hayo, na tumefurahi kwa sababu kampuni imekubali kwamba itatekeleza haya yote, na pia madereva wenyewe wengi ukiwaangalia wamejirudia na kusema kwamba hawatarudia tena haya makosa.
Muthenya wa mothe tukite haha sensitization ya matereba itu, makondakta na ithuĩ aruti a wĩra nigetha tumenye going forward ri kana tugithie na mbere ri ni atia tugukorwo tugika wega na ningi gukirukiriria uria turekaga kwambatiria ngathi ya mautungata maitu uria turaheaga athii.
Na kiroko giki ne tukuga ati ni tuhitukiirio ni igoti ria NTSA tribunal matwe marwa tucoke wira tugithiaga na mbere na kuhingia maria utahingitie.
Lengo letu kubwa kama mamlaka ya usalama hatuko hapa kuharibu biashara ya mtu, lakini tuko hapa kusaidiana kuhakikisha kwamba kila kitu kiko salama kabisa. Na tumefurahia jinsi ambavyo wamefanya, hata wao kutii kuleta yale magari yakaguliwe, kuleta hao madereva wote hapa wakiti hapa siku nzima hii leo. Hii inaonyesha ni ishara nzuri kwamba mambo yatabadilika.
Ndari guthaine na muno toro mundu kweria maheni mahana ma koguo no tuga hau ni turagereire gathina karari karitu na gutire mundu rakiitire ni turetereire ginya riria tugagitwirwo matua
reire reke tuge guikara mucie ni gukiire nduri rugudu nduri kuri orathie nduri haria werekeire ni turaigua tuhinyirirekeire muno na ni undu wa mundu umwe.
Tungirora ngari ria tukorwo twina cio makiria ma ngari 500 ma 50 guthi na iguru, mbeca iria cirehaga muthenya tukoragwo na kindu ta income ya milioni 8 na tuhuthagira mbeca ingi ta milioni 8 ingi tugikira maguta, kwina mishahara ya matereva, kwina mishahara ya conductors, yothe mahinda macio turakirugamitio tutironaga mbeca icio, koguo wira wa ma ni tuthiete hathara.
Nĩ ngatho twakihoka gĩthomo kĩu nĩ gĩkũmaguna ũndũ ũmwe na mũingĩ. Nĩ ngatho hono twĩkĩrĩra gaturumo mũtamburuko ũyũ wa Mohoro ma Mugi TV Thaa Imwe. Tucemani haha gũcokereria na hema yakwa ngĩkũrehera mangĩ marĩa tũgũkorwo tũkũreheire maingĩ mathaa-inĩ ma thaa ithatũ. Ngĩtĩka Waithĩra wa Gĩthure ngatho cia mwanya kũrĩ erekeria akwa nĩ Waithĩra wa Nyahi na Macharia wa Macharia.